Hello, Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. I'm your host, Priska Agnolo, and thank you so much for joining us today on NMH at 1. We do apologize profusely for starting off late as we were facing a few technical difficulties, but we're back and let's get the show on the road. So let's head right on in our first video. We start off today's broadcast with footage shot by Denver Kisting in Windhoek. In the video, McHenry Vanani, the leader of the official opposition party, the Popular Democratic Movement, raises alarm about alleged corruption at August 26, a government-owned group of companies. According to Vanani, the group of companies has been awarded a tender worth 48 million Namibian dollars to procure uniforms for the Defense Ministry. Do take a look.
When it comes to state matters, he does not want to address them openly and candidly, and he would opt to deal with government as opposed to deal with us, the complainants that complain about August 26. So on that matter, we are very disappointed, and I am very disappointed by the Ombudsman that he agrees with us from the onset that August 26 must be audited. But yet he has not given the courtesy to write back to us to explain to us his findings or his opinion. But he rather goes to write a letter to the State House, giving advice that was not sought by State House on the auditing of the books of August 26. Secondly, our sources are also telling us reliably that there is, in the budget, there is 57 million budgeted for members of the defense uniforms. 48 million of this money has been set aside for the production of uniforms, and the Army, excluding the Air Force and the Navy, is in a serious problem of uniform. And we are hearing reliably that August 26 was given this tender to procure uniform on behalf of the Defense Ministry. There is corruption within August 26. There is corruption within the Ministry of Defense, and it is headed by the senior leadership of that ministry. And I talk about senior leadership is senior political leadership of that ministry. The 48 million is given to August 26 and some of their subsidiaries to procure. The senior officials, senior ministers included, the minister is adamant that the 48 million must be given to a Brazilian company.
Next up, in an interview with Tanya Bowser, Dr. Paul Ludik talks about the Namibian Police Forensic Science Institute, which was opened by the President Hage Geingob this morning. The institute, described by Dr. Ludik as a 500 million Namibian dollar investment, was conceptualized in 2003. Do enjoy.
Good morning. We are here at the opening of the Namibian Police Forensic Science Institute today. With me is Dr. Paul Ludik. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Can you give us a history about the building, the institute?
Absolutely. It started off in 2003 as a concept in a mind with some pencil sketches. In fact, those pencil sketches still survive. They survived the test of time, and that culminated into what we have behind us today, close to a 500 million Namibian dollar investment that you see the equipment, the existing equipment included.
And this is a state-of-the-art facility?
Absolutely. When we say state-of-the-art, forensic science, and I've been involved in forensic sciences for decades. Forensic sciences start off as an applied based on fundamental natural sciences, and it was practiced in a modularized fashion. I mean, separate little entities, each working on methods, and those methods would then be assigned a specific expert opinion, and that went to court. Now, the challenges in terms of modern day forensic sciences, it changed tremendously. No longer is that allowed. We're moving to an integrated process flow system, which is operating under a universal quality management system. And this facility is geared to do exactly that. It's geared to do exactly what we mean under process flow quality management, where you look at general metrics. You don't look at specific detail, but you look at general processes and so forth. The way we achieve this is by means of radio tagging all inventory, human resource, exhibits, furniture, items, physical items, reagents, components, materials, all of it is traced and tracked by means of a radio tag that's attached to it. So at any given moment or instance, you can exactly tell where a specific component finds itself, and that is driven by means of process. Now let me explain it in layman's terms. It means that if a specific exhibit, let's say a gun, enters the facility, that gun, according to predefined rules, is already, by virtue of being a gun, it's already recorded onto the system automatically without any human input, and it's assigned specific rules, which means a predetermined method of analysis. It goes through a process, and once finished, the specific instructing agency or the investigating officer that submitted will be informed that the examination is concluded and that the exhibit and report is ready for production.
How many people are employed here or can be employed here?
Our staff establishment, as the Honourable Minister made mention, makes provision in the laboratory division. Now let's perhaps just take one trace back. The Forensic Science Institute constitute a number of specialized units. Now, under those would be the Forensic Pathology Division. That is what people would know as the police mortuaries. That would be one of our divisions. Then we have the Scene of Crime Division. Now that division obviously again consists of all the scene of crime officers across the country. And then we have the Namibian Police Criminal Record Bureau. Those would be the people or the division that performs certificates of clearance, conduct certificates, crime records, etc. All of that also resorts under the NPFSI. Now, you can see some of our divisions are greatly decentralized, and then of course we have the laboratory divisions, and the laboratory divisions are housed in what you see behind me here, in that we have the various laboratories contained in this facility, and these all make provision for. Now, in terms of the human resource allocation to the laboratory divisions, we have made provision for 115 members, and these members, we're currently in a big recruitment drive, and we're filling vacancies that exist there. But in the greater scheme of things, we have in excess of close to 300 members serving all the divisions that you have across the country that you have that I've just mentioned.
Thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.
All right, so up next is your COVID-19 update for today. On Monday, Namibia had 1,718 active cases of COVID-19, with recoveries increasing to 10,878. The recovery rate currently stands at 85.5%. The red numbers on our map show the remaining active cases in each region. Windhoek's active cases decreased below 1,300, while patients in isolation in Ashana region increased from 177 to 226. Active cases in the neighboring Oshikoto region almost doubled in a week, from 35 to 69. The regions with the lowest numbers of active cases are Zambezi, where one patient is still in isolation, Ohangwena with 2 active cases, and Kunene with 3. Last week, the number of healthcare workers who have tested positive for COVID-19 increased with 30 to a total of 516. Of these new cases, 21 were recorded in the Windhoek district, with a whopping 20 cases reported on one day, Wednesday, the 21st of October. It does remain unclear whether this is a correction in data, but we are trying to get clarity from health authorities. Meanwhile, 3 healthcare workers tested positive in Oshikoto, 2 each in Omaheke and Hardap, and 1 each in the Oshodanjuba and Kabango East region. Let's go for a quick ad break and I'll be right back to introduce our third video insert for today. Moving along to election fever. In this video by Tuyemo Haidula, SWAPO supporters and sympathizers danced to Ndilimani cultural troop songs at the party's Oshana regional headquarters over the weekend. The party launched its regional campaign under the theme, "We Have Heard You." Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah told the ruling party's Oshana leaders that they do not want to be frustrated by upcoming competitors and should make sure that the party wins the regional and local authority elections. Do take a look. And now we move on to our newspaper dailies for today. In the NMH stable, Namibian Sun reports that SWAPO Vice President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah says that the ruling party's elders are wary of the youth's readiness to take over the reins of the country. Last weekend, while addressing party functionaries at Oshakati, the VP said that the caliber of young people as well as the utterances they make on social media have SWAPO's old guard worried about what will happen to the country when they are not there. Republican reports that Namibia currently does not use rapid tests for COVID-19. According to Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula, the future use of these tests will depend on the development of a COVID-19 barometer. The World Health Organization's Director for Africa, Dr. Matsidiso Moeti, said rapid tests could dramatically change Africa's response to the virus. Allgemeine Zeitung reports that poaching, illegal deforestation, forest harvesting, and illegal sand mining characterized Namibia's fight to conserve natural resources in the face of climate change. The sustainability of our drought-stricken country, surrounded by growing deserts, is endangered, according to an Institute of Public Policy Research report, which was published this month. The Namibian reports that the Mines and Energy Ministry is investigating allegations that oil company Acer Petroleum has bribed senior ministry officials to fast-track wholesale and retail license applications. The company's CEO, Mayank Gupta, has, however, denied wrongdoing and claims that the company is being extorted. New Era reports that an 18-year-old teenager, Lycia Stefanis, appeared in the Utapi Magistrates Court on Monday on a charge of murder after fatally assaulting his 78-year-old grandmother. The grade 11 pupil was arrested last Wednesday after violently attacking his grandmother and aunt, as well as police officers attending to the scene. And now we move on to the inside pages of the country's dailies. Namibian Sun reports that a 1-year-old white rhino calf has been killed by poachers on a farm in the Gobabis district. Farm owner Walter Kinnear says that the calf's tiny horn was removed by the poachers. The farm manager, Ernie Erasmus, discovered the calf's carcass on Sunday after spotting vultures circling the area. Republican reports that Windhoek City Police Chief Abraham Kanime has vehemently denied victimizing street vendors in the central business district. This after vendors wrote a letter of complaint to Popular Democratic Movement leader McHenry Vanani, saying police officers confiscate their wares and have even threatened an unarmed vendor with a firearm. Vanani paid the vendors a visit yesterday. The Namibian reports that the office of the president last week withdrew a complaint against that newspaper over an apparently defamatory and misinforming article. President Hage Geingobb's press secretary Alfredo Hengari last week wrote to the media ombudsman John Nakuta to withdraw the complaint on the article titled "Confusion as Presidency Shuts Out Media." Allgemeine Zeitung reports that the Ombesha Yehinga organization today released a video of the latest dance piece titled The Morai. Funded by the German embassy, the piece is about a young woman in an abusive relationship who must make the critical decision to leave or possibly die at the hands of the man that she loves. The Namibian organization, led by Felipe Talavera, aims to bring awareness to important social issues through art. New Era reports that government has released 345 million Namibian dollars to the Namibia Students Financial Assistance Fund. The money has been earmarked for non-tuition fees for tertiary students, acting CEO Kennedy Kandume said. This after student bodies have been up in arms, fighting for funds to be paid out for months. And in other news, Namibian Sun's Ewi Leonoi reports that residents of Rundu's Ndama location struggle to access water. For years, residents have been left high and dry, and over recent months, the situation has worsened. Sources share that access to water has become a daily struggle, with some residents having to forego showers for a week because the little water that they get is solely for consumption. Republican reports that according to Namibia Institute for Democracy Program Manager Panduleni Ngipandulwa, local and regional government play an important role in promoting and protecting human rights. This week, he said that the function of a local authority is to provide basic services such as housing, water, electricity, sanitation, public transport, etc. Meanwhile, the role of regional councils is to provide and improve on educational and healthcare services, he said. And now we move on to the last video insert for today. So last but not least, we bring you this video shot by Yana Marie Smith over the weekend in Windhoek, where we learn more about raku, an ancient Japanese method of firing clay pots. This unique and thrilling method, which was developed to make ceremonial teaware for Zen Buddhist masters, has unpredictable results. Do enjoy. That is it for today. Please do stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day. And also remember to stay tuned for the weather. Goodbye, Namibia.